Welcome to History, Myth, and Legend, the podcast where gods clash, monsters roam, and drama rules the day. We're not here for the dry textbook versions. We're here to retell the myths your teacher skipped, the wild, weird, and downright epic tales from the cultures around the world. In our first series, we're diving into creation myths, how the world began according to the legends that shaped civilizations. Buckle up, because the ancient world was anything but boring. Long before European maps chopped Africa into arbitrary borders, and even longer before anyone thought to argue over which came first, the chicken or the Big Bang, the Bantu-speaking peoples of Central and Southern Africa already had a story. A good one. A divine epic full of fire, clay, sky ladders, and some truly justified ghosting by a god. Let's dive into the other origin story, where the world was made with purpose, left in the human hands, and promptly went sideways. In the beginning, there was chaos. Not Netflix and no Wi-Fi chaos. Actual primordial emptiness. No people, no animals, no Instagram. Just endless nothingness. And into this nothingness stepped, or hovered, Malungu, a supreme deity found in Bantu creation stories across countries like Tanzania and Malawi, and beyond. Malungu was a creator god, not the thunder-wielding kind, not the brooding in the clouds kind. He was a calm craftsman. He got to work and created earth, plants, animals, and finally humans, often out of clay, molded with care and breathed into life like a divine potter on a cosmic deadline. For a while, things were great. Nature flourished, people respected the order of things. Malungu stuck around, probably feeling pretty snug about his celestial handiwork. But then, humans started being humans. One day, someone, a curious child, a sneaky spirit, or a misguided monkey, depending on who you ask, stole fire. It may have come from the heavens or from the belly of the earth. Either way, once humans had it, everything changed. They started cooking food, building weapons, and you guessed it, burning stuff. Like a lot of stuff. And then came the fighting, the greed, the general disobedience of every spiritual instruction ever given. Malungu watched this unfold and said essentially, nope. Disgusted by the chaos, Malungu decided to leave Earth. But he didn't just pack a bag and vanish. No, he made a statement. In most versions of the Bantu myth, Malungu climbed into the sky using a spider web, a rainbow, or a tree trunk. Because if you're going to ghost your creation, at least be fabulous about it. He retreated into the heavens and never returned. From then on, humans were on their own. If they wanted to talk to Malungu, they had to send prayers upward, often through intermediaries like spirits or ancestors. This is why in many Bantu cultures, ancestral worship plays a huge role. It's the long-distance customer service line to a god who's no longer taking direct calls. But wait, what's a creation myth without a mysterious creature? In Bantu traditions, there's a sacred snake, sometimes called the Kalunga, Nikandi, or other local names, that slithers between the worlds of the living and the dead. The cosmic reptile isn't evil. It's a boundary keeper, a reminder that life and death are part of the same circle. The snake often guards sacred knowledge, moves between worlds, and in some versions helped humans learn how to bury the dead. Because once the god left, someone had to keep things running. The Bantu creation story is equal parts wonder and warning. It tells us that the world was made carefully and with intention. Humans have the power to sustain or destroy it. Even gods have limits on how much nonsense they'll tolerate. And most intriguingly, it flips the usual script. Instead of a distant god eventually coming down to earth, this myth begins with the divine presence and ends with abandonment. It's a reversal that feels hauntingly modern. And just like that, from chaos, from void, from cosmic eggs, talking animals, sacred trees, and the occasional dismembered god, the world was born. Over the past few episodes, we've been seeing the universe spun from spiderwebs, sung into being, sculpted from clay, and even bartered into existence by gods with questionable negotiation skills. One thing's for sure, every culture has a story, and every story tells us something about how we see ourselves. Whether you believe the world hatched from an egg or exploded out of nothingness, it's clear creation is messy, wild, divine, and kind of awesome. But don't pack up your scrolls and star charts just yet. We have a few more creation stories to share with you before our next series. Then, we're exploring what comes after creation. Think floods, fire, giants, and maybe a little divine sibling rivalry. You know, typical growing pains of a brand new universe. I'm Penny, and this has been History, Myth, and Legend. Thanks for joining me on this mythic journey through the beginning of everything. Until next time, stay curious, stay legendary, and remember, all great stories start with a spark. Or a really loud bang.